Hello there everyone, my name is Jacob and welcome back to MNM Movies, the channel where we do rankings and reviews, and here today we're going to be reviewing Ready or Not, Here I Come. Ready or Not, Here I Come is the predecessor to 2019's Ready or Not, directed by Radio Silence. Grace has survived all the crazy stuff that happens in the first movie. Is she allowed to breathe and take a break? No, she is not. So, bigger game, bigger stakes. Now, Ready or Not originally was a pretty decent horror comedy, seemingly coming out of nowhere, and it felt pretty self-contained, so I was really wondering how they're gonna expand this world, I guess. Directors Tyler Gibbett and Matt Bettinelli-Olpin, aka Radio Silence, directed the first film and 2 Scream movies at this point, so they have a pretty interesting resume. Whether I liked all those films is another question. I at least did enjoy most of them. Let's talk about the mood and the pacing for this movie. Now, overall, this film does feel pretty lighthearted for the situation that we're in, and it has this very over-the-top nature. Maybe not to the extent of Get Help that came out earlier this year, but definitely tries to go some of the way. Definitely more over the top compared to the first film, which does make it harder to take seriously, but the comedic moments are certainly more prevalent here, so you get that instead. It does start pretty slow, but as soon as you begin to understand what's going on here, it speeds up to 11. Now let's talk about the positives here, and of course Samara Weaving is everything. She was certainly one of the best parts of the OG film. She still is here, and she is one of the best final girl actresses going at the moment. She just has one of the best screams in Hollywood. She almost sounds like a sacrificial lamb that they were using in the movie. She can put up a good fight, she's pretty, and she just has a very expressive face. And of course she's an Aussie actress, so of course I'm gonna support her in basically everything she does. I just love her in everything she's in, she's great. The comedy works for the most part. Yes, there are a few silly moments here and there, but I felt like most of the jokes landed and I had a good chuckle at some of them. So you got me to some extent, mate. And of course there's lots of blood and gore here. Maybe a bit toned down from the first film, which is kind of odd. The sequel usually tries to top that. I'm not saying there's none here, but I feel like there was, I don't know, more memorable death scenes in the original. We had a few creative kills here, but not as many. We still had that brutal edge that of course Radio Silence is going to give you, but
that is one big pile of shit.
Now, the lore was a bit iffy. The expanded lore of this massive hide-and-seek game with the High Council. Of course, this is getting very stupid. It was a pretty predictable route that they would have to go with this film if they were going to extend it. I wasn't too intrigued with the rules and answers this world gave me. I just felt like maybe it could have been a bit more original. Mostly seemed to just serve the plot or some cheap comedic jokes, of course. And I think if they're going to go full send into this over-the-top nature, they could have gone even further, I think, and I think they should have. Yes, it does go for it, but something like Cabin in the Woods, where it just keeps going up and up and crazy and crazy and crazy. I think if we saw something like that, that could have been even better. Might it have been too silly? Yeah, but it's already silly. Just commit, mate. Look, if you enjoyed the first movie, you're going to enjoy this. Although most of us probably will question the necessity of it, it's still an enjoyable time. And look, you can wait till this one comes out on streaming, but it's still a fun watch in cinema, so I pick either option if you're interested. So far, this is early on reviews, but IMDb is giving it a 6.8 out of 10 so far, and Rotten Tomatoes is sitting at an 80%, so not bad. I think I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I think it could have still been better, but I did enjoy it. Overall, it isn't as good as the original film, but not far off for an over-the-top silly sequel. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this movie review. If you're keen to check out some of my other videos, we're ranking and reviewing most of the movies coming out this year. I think you need to stay keen for that. Big horror fan as well. Let me know your thoughts on the film if you've watched it already. Obviously, it's early days, so I'm not going to drop any huge spoilers, but yes, stick around for my monthly rating. I'll rank this, and I might do a Radio Silence tier list as well for all the films they've released. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.